Morning. So we started with the new lesson. So that was Mauryan Empire. So last class I gave the introduction. Then I gave started talking about the sources like Arthashastra, Indica, then Stupa, then one of the rock edicts of Ashoka, that is lion capital in Sarnath. So that we had discussed in the previous class. Then we started with the. I also discussed in the previous class about kings, few kings, especially Chandragupta. Then 24 years he has ruled. Then Bindusara, the son of Chandragupta, 25 years he has ruled. Then after that, the last king, that was Ashoka. Okay, at the age of 14, he started to rule. And as you all know, till 261, till Kalinga, so he had a great, conquer, and almost entire India was under the control of Ashoka. So he was given a title Ashoka the Great. So after the Kalinga conquest or Kalinga battle, so he turns into a Buddhist follower for next 40 years. And then his daughter and son, so he sends them to preach Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So like that, after the death of Ashoka, the dissolve of Mauryan Empire or decline of Mauryan Empire, takes up. And today's class, so we will go with the Mauryan administration. Now, when Ashoka, when he was ruling the Mauryan Empire, so what was the system of administration? How he had a systematic, system of administration he was having it. So if you see, so first and foremost is the position of a king. So in the Mauryan administration, if you see, the people used to see king as a representative of a god. Okay, so that is the first position which was given to a king. Usually in every kingdom, every dynasty, the king will be treated as a god. So like that, so even in Mauryan Empire, the king was considered as a representative of a god. So in which the great respect and honor is been received by the king of Mauryan Empire. Okay, that's the first position. Second one is center of authority. The entire functioning of an empire was under the control of king. Okay, king is the person who was looking after the entire the authority or the superior over the complete the empire. So that's the one thing. Then head of the administration. Any changes in the system of administration, any changes in the functioning of an administration, so that and all will be decided by the king. Okay, so the king is the sole authority of an administration, and he was the law and justice. Okay, so king was the law and justice. He was the law and order. Whatever the law or whatever the justice, that will be given by a king. Okay, so king is the person who makes the law. King is the person who gives the justice to the people also, if they have any problems. Then supervised and inspected. Okay, the entire administration will be supervised by and inspected, whether it is in proper functioning, whether people are following the set of law, or the people are following the administration of the Mauryan Empire, which was given by king. That all will be supervised and will be inspected by the completely king. Okay, the king was a representative of God, center of authority, head of administration, law and justice, and supervised and inspected. Okay, this is the position of a king which was given in Maurya. Okay, then second one, if you see, revenue system or revenue administration, we can call it. Okay, revenue system or revenue administration. Okay, if of Mauryans, if you see, tax was collected both kind and cash. Kind means in the form of crops. Okay, in the form of crop, and cash means in the form of money. Okay, so that was given. Okay, the tax were collected both in kind and cash. And the chief source of revenue, the main income to the Mauryan Empire was land tax. So that shows that so people had depend on the agriculture. Okay, cultivation was one of the main source. The next, taxes on liquor shops. Okay, liquor shops and gambling houses. Gambling houses means like private building, guest houses. Any outsiders, if they come, so they were asked to stay in gambling houses. Rest is resting house or guest house, we call it. So that houses also were taxes collected. Okay, apart from the land. Then famously, the Mauryan Empire is known for collection of two types of taxes. Okay, they had two types of taxes very famously collected. That is Bali and Baga. Okay, Bali is nothing but religious tax. Okay, one share of the religious tax, and Baga is nothing but agriculture or cattle tax. So this was the two types of taxes, so which was collected by the the Mauryan kings. Okay, so apart from the land tax, liquor, and gambling, so this Bali and Baga was the one type of tax. And the revenue system, one important the concept which was followed by Mauryan kings. Not even, you cannot see in any of the kingdoms. Okay, so that is in Mauryan dynasty, Brahmins, women, children, blind, deaf, and physically challenged, they were exempted. Exempted means they are not supposed to pay any tax. Okay, the Brahmins, women, children, blind, deaf, and physically challenged. These people are exempted. Exempted means they are not supposed to pay any tax to the Mauryan kings. That was one of the speciality which is there, which is being given in Arthashastra. In Arthashastra, it is there. Chandragupta, at the time of Chandragupta, that is Kautilya, Chanakya, when he, wrote this Arthashastra, so he has exempted the collection of taxes to this many personalities, this many groups. Okay, that is being followed in the, Mauryan, by the Mauryan kings. That's one concept, so we can see it here. So next concept, if you see, so that is third administration, central government. That is how the functioning of, because the entire India, okay, that the entire India, if you see, the completely which was ruled by, okay, so the completely it was ruled by the, our Ashoka or Mauryan king. So how do they manage the India to be under their control? So how do they manage? Okay, so if we see the managing of the, see, if you see, the first and foremost was the king. Okay, the king was very important. Then viceroy or governor. Okay, this was classified into four: one province, two province, three, four, and total five. That next class we will see. Okay, to each province, one viceroy or one governor was appointed. Okay, then council of ministers. To each provinces, few groups of ministers were given to the governors. Okay, so the governors were given council of ministers. And the governors used to take the help of council of ministers. To assist the council of ministers, few ministers were given. Okay, few ministers to them. Then to that ministers to help, some mantri prasid, some of the important leaders, they were also given. And to help these people, the officers were given. Okay, the main role of all these people is only the two things. One is administration to be taken care, revenue to be collected in a proper manner, and law and order. These three is the very important things. Okay, so to see these three aspects exist in the entire Mauryan administration, this many classification of ministers were appointed by the king. So the king was assisted by governor, governor was assisted by council of ministers, council of ministers is assisted by minister and mantri prasid, and he is assisted, they are assisted by the few officers. And in that few important officers in the Mauryan administration, if you see, one is Purohita, royal priest, because all the religious ceremonies, religious rituals are conducted by him. Then Senadipati, because Senadipati is nothing but commander in chief. Okay, military commander, one who leads the soldier. Then Yuvaraj, okay, apparent or heir appoint. That means the family of a king will be there in all one provinces. Family member. Okay, that is king's family. That is your Raj. Then other few ministers we are having. So with these all, the king with the help of governor, council of ministers, and various types of ministers, the king started running the entire administration of, Mauryans. Okay, so that made the king for, king, the classifying the ministers into different various groups. So that helped the king to have the various functioning of Mauryan administration by maintaining the law, revenue, and the administration. Okay, the three major concepts to spread in the entire Mauryan administration. So the various classification of ministers. So we were having it. So next class, so we will see. Some more, the two more, the important Mauryan administrative system. So that we will see it in the next class. So this class, whatever we talk, that is king, revenue system, and central government. So these three administrative systems. So please you can go through it. So next class we will see with the some more, Mauryan administration system. Thank you.